that are these massive things that are being made up by the maker community. Can they be disinfected effectively? So
maybe. Even soaking them for 48 hours, I mean, you could technically...
Oh, he's referring to not so much the disinfecting, because you can disinfect them effectively with a 30-second or a 60-second soak. What he's looking at is what impact on the material does the soaking have. There we go. Shiny.
Yeah. So I've got a couple different build tech surfaces. I don't really know what the difference is. I haven't done my research. But I've got this yellow one, which is for something.
Is it PEI?
Yeah, but they don't really explain really well what the difference between the black and the yellow are as far as what materials are for. So,
well, PEI works really well with PLA. If you use PEI on PEI is good for PLA. If you want to use PETG on it, you have to put something else between it, like a layer of glue stick, and it'll stick well, but then it'll release. If you go PETG directly on PEI, it'll never come off.
Okay. What about the black ones?
The black one is a good generic material, good generic for working with a lot of different stuff. And its benefit is that it's got a little texture to it. PEI will give you a smoother surface finish.
So PEI for PLA only, build tack if I want to do regular stuff, or PETG and whatnot?
No, you can use PETG on PEI, you just have to put glue stick down.
Well, for me, I don't think I'm going to bother with putting glue stick down. I'll just probably throw the black one in.
Yeah, I'm going to build tack. I'm going to check and see what it says.
Yeah, I think I remember trying to look at it, and they have an underwhelming amount of information from what I remember, but... for putting... Maybe I should...
They've obviously had some time to work on their website.
Yeah, they had the BuildTech Nylon Plus, which I was thinking about ordering, but again, it just says, you've asked for it, and we've listened. It's BuildTech Nylon Plus. It literally tells me absolutely nothing about why I want it.
It's a high temperature material.
But, I mean, it doesn't tell me what materials it works with. It doesn't say anything. I'm really unimpressed with the amount of information they actually give you.
Oh, okay.
That's like, so the regular one right here, I see PLA, ABS, HIPS, PET Plus. It doesn't specifically say PETG. PEI surface. Polycarbonate requires Build-Tek's extra strong hold. PI should be used for PET-G because of its easy release. Are you sure you have that right? This
Maybe
says,
I've got a different material. Maybe I've got a different material.
okay, because this says PEI should be used for PET-G. And on the regular, or the black stuff, it actually looks like PET-G isn't listed. But for the nylon, it really does, it tells you absolutely nothing. What is rapid tack spray?
It's sticky spray stuff.
And do they have, go away, an installation instruction for this?
Mm-hmm. Kind of hoping Josh will jump on tonight. So do you have 2 flex steel sheets?
I actually have multiple.
Okay.
I have 2 Build-Tek sheets, and then I bought 1 sheet from, what do you call this one? See Me CNC, because it looks really nice.
Yeah, I've got one of those too.
I was thinking, before I slap a sheet of anything on here, I was thinking about trying to use my normal stuff that I print with. That's a liquid application.
Oh, okay.
And then I have 1 sheet in my closet of something I got off a Kickstarter. So I actually could have 4 different print surfaces right now. I'm not seeing installation instructions. Like, I know some things recommend you like wet down the surface or something before you apply it and blah blah blah. I don't know if this is one of those things or not.
There should be an instruction video on there.
YouTube.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey.
So I've gotten fairly far today.
Good.
I got my motor plates built. I got my double pulley assemblies, all of that built, and I've got the pulley assemblies on the crossbar. I was gonna ask Eric about one question.
Give me 1 minute
No
and
problem, man.
45 seconds.
All right. Yep. So now's a good time to start firing emergency room doctors.
what was your question?
Alrighty. So on the crossbar assembly, the aluminum one, in the instructions, it has one like 16mm screw in the last page. What the heck is it?
Can you send me a link to what you're talking about, or
Hold on.
pop the picture in Discord?
Yep.
16mm screw. And there's only one of them?
Yeah.
Is it for the corner plate?
Hold on. I don't know. Let me.
I bet you.
It's like the last set of steps in the assembly. It's on the like last page. Hold on, let me find it. So go to the last page, and it lists 17 10mm M3 screws, one 16mm M3 screw.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be for the part that.
And then
Well,
it
that
says,
screw, just so you know, that screw isn't actually used for anything.
It shows it on sheet 5 of 6.
It's the one that, it's for the Z stuff, or the X, right?
Yeah, look at sheet 5 of 6. It has a 16mm screw that goes through the bottom of the crossbar, through the X end stop mount, and then into the.
yeah, I have that one. But that's, no, look at the next page. There's one shown there as well.
Probably a typo.
That's what I thought. And then it also says 17 M3 button head 10mm screws, but only 16 lock nut M3 lock nuts. So that didn't make sense to me either. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
My guess is no. I would bring that up with Josh when he gets on, or
Alrighty.
send him a text or something, because I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But also, didn't you end up using 8mm screws instead?
Oh yeah, that's where a bunch of my 8mm screws went. So basically that makes it pretty much flush with the nylock, end of the nylock nut.
Yeah.
Technically, you're not punching all the way through when you do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to punch all the way through. Here, I'll send you a picture of what I did.
Yeah, with a nylock, you're supposed to go. A nylock, you have to have full thread engagement, so you need at least one thread past the end of the nut.
I don't know how true that is.
Well, in any of the substay for nuclear stuff I did, when I was doing QA for it, you did.
No. This isn't a nuclear submarine, so I think I'm safe. But you don't have to take my advice. But having all the screws stick way above the nuts, I didn't really like it. So, anyway, fair warning. Maybe don't do what I did, but because you're not technically getting full engagement, but I think it's sufficient for this application.
Yeah.
But Brian's right. Of course, it's.
I'm not always right.
Well, regardless if you're always right or not, I think you're technically right in this respect, but.
And that's the best kind of being right.
But at the same time, I don't know that you really need that in an application like this. I think you're going to be engaging the lock nut plenty. But I could be wrong.
And it depends on whether, I mean, I've seen lock nuts and I've seen lock screws, or screws that have a nylon insert. So I don't know if this is going to be any good or not.
Alrighty, then I'll get this assembled. Now I may take the I may end up taking the block off of this and messing with it, but I don't know. At a minimum, I will probably take it apart, WD-40 the hell out of everything, and then properly lube it. I don't know if I'm going to go necessarily as far as
What are you WD-40?
all the ball bearings. Taking the block.
WD-40 WD-40 is not a lubricant, right?
I know. No. I know that. I'm
Okay.
saying WD-40, grease it and remove all the debris.
Yeah.
Oh.
And micro particles off of it.
Where,
and then
where'd you get the rails?
China.
Okay. Yeah, I ended up. It was also partially because I was just waiting on materials, but partially because I just didn't like the feel of the Chinese rails. But I did end up doing that with the Chinese rails.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as buying new balls.
Ah, dang it. No. Oh, stickers are one of my least favorite activities. Yeah, it's debatable whether or not the balls really did anything for me. I'm thinking probably not, but I did them just because, and then I ended up ditching the rails altogether and going with LDO rails when they became available.
Yeah.
For just the Core XY section. I still left all the Z's.
I tempted to do that, but I haven't looked at how much they cost.
I'm sorry, what? I missed that.
The LDO rails.
I
haven't looked to see how much they actually cost.
They're about double the Chinese rails, and I don't know, I like them, at least for the Core XY section. But if you already have, non-Chinese rails, then...
Yeah. And this
you already have...
This would be my third set of rails.
Currently?
Because I started with the V1s. And then I went for started building the V2.
Well, I missed a couple millimeters of the one edge. Dang it.
Hey, I recognize those. Oh, I don't have a bottom edge for them. Maybe I should have a bottom edge for them. Where's the part for the bottom edge I have to print?
Hey, I'm happy. These are a set of screws that I don't actually have to use thread locker on.
I just realized I forgot to print the bottom edges. So I've got 6 of those masks made up, and the Cameo vinyl cutter cuts the transparencies really well. I just have to tweak the so I just realized that I forgot to print a part for them, so I'm gonna go I gotta go set that up. It's the little clip that goes on the bottom edge to keep the shape.
Okay.
Probably not technically recommended, But just putting a tiniest little hole with the knife seems to take care of the little bubbles underneath the build tech.
Ah,
I mean, you can't even see where I put the tiny little dent, but it got the bubble out.
people are making bagpipes at home
Interesting.
out of trash bags, tape, and recorders.
That's funny.
Well, it might be a bag with pipes. I don't know that I would call it a bagpipe.
You know, it's got. I mean, if they put a couple of, if they put a couple of chanters on it, it should be fine. But it's not a reed instrument at that point. I find this. Yeah, I definitely get this. It's not boring at all to stay in the house. But how come one bag of rice has 7,268 grains, and the other one has 7,132?
I wish I had the time to be that bored.
Same here. I ended up making a trip to the dump, or a trip to the recycling bins, or the local city recycling bins, with a full load of recycling. And then I picked up a dehumidifier because I needed to add a second dehumidifier to the house because in the 2 hours this morning when it was in the 60s, the humidity in the house jumped to almost 65%. And the humidifier was running. Oh, this is funny. 8 days into our family lockdown, and I'm starting to question whether the Donner Party was even hungry.
True that.
Yeah, my son has actually slept pretty much the entire day. We woke him up from his nap so he could eat and stuff, and then he just wanted to go right back to bed. So we're like, all right. He slept in way later than normal.
Probably needed it.
Yeah.
So when I went to pick up the dehumidifier, Home Depot, freaking packed, man.
Really?
Boy, that's not
Oh
great.
yeah.
Well, it makes
like,
sense because now everybody wants to do renovations.
Well, it's not even that. It was just like, I thought that they had it set up for like curbside or quick pickup and things like that. And it was, I pulled in and because I had gone by the PetSmart, and PetSmart was curbside delivery. You pull up into a designated parking spot, call the store real quick, tell them who you are, which slot you're in, and they bring it out. They bring it out. You show them the ID through the window, and open up the door, and they'll load up the car.
Yeah, that's how the restaurants around here are doing it.
Yeah, 120 pounds of cat litter, and
I went to Olive Garden today, and they have like 20 parking spaces open for people to.
that's all.
Sorry, they have like 20 parking spaces open for people to park in to pick up their food, all numbered and whatnot.
So I realized that I have to readjust the, well, I don't know that I have to. I gotta go back and look at it.
There we go. You can kind of see that now. Is it bad I'm treating the side of the machine like the front of the machine because it's actually more open?
Excuse me, why would it?
All right.
So only thing that I would say on the Mandala Roseworks crossbar, he missed burring a couple of the edges, like breaking the edge.
Really?
I found one edge that was like a razor.
Must have been a mistake on yours. I don't think I have that problem.
There's like one edge that is like one I've found is like but there's one that was like really bad, and I found it with my finger.
Of course, because that's the best way to find a sharp edge.
That's the only way to find a sharp edge.
No, I learned as a kid, use someone else's finger.
That could be completely misconstrued.
When I was a kid, I used to take, my mom used to teach me when I was like, 5 and 6, you don't touch the stove, it could be hot. I was smart enough to realize, though, that if I picked an adult's hand and put it towards the stove and they didn't pull their hand away, that it probably was okay for me to touch it too.
Oh, you're one of those kids.
So I would just take I'd take an adult's hand and be like, will you let me touch the stove with your hand? Okay.
Yeah, one of the things we did with our kids is we as parents, we pretty much figured out the whole natural and logical consequences. And we were pretty much okay with letting the kids deal with their natural consequences most of the time. If we weren't willing to deal with the natural consequence, then we imposed logic. So, hey, you should bring your coat. It's going to be cold today. I don't want to. Okay. Hey, I'm cold. Guess you should have brought your coat. Maybe next time. I want to play in the street. You're not playing in the street. You get to sit on the porch for the next 4 hours and watch everybody else play. Aww. Pretty good description of how to do it. It's the freaking file. I can't find it. Anyway. So for whatever reasons, my eyes aren't working well. Because I'm staring right at the screen and I'm not seeing anything I had like 30 seconds ago. Anything.
Are you just tired?
No, it's probably just the normal stuff. Like I'm looking right at it, but I have something like 700 folders in this folder. It's project folders. Everything's broken down.
Well, if you know the name of it, just start typing the name.
Problem is, I can't remember what the name is.
Okay, well.
Recognize it when you see it, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've started being very careful in the way I organize my folders because I got tired of that tableau.
There you go. Protective visor.
Oh, shoot. What am I doing?
So, here in town, IC3D is doing visors.
Okay. So, do you see what CME is doing?
injection molded.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we made 6,000 of them today. It's like, you did what? Okay. So, yeah.
The big one is here in town, Battelle. Did you see the news from them?
No.
They they've designed, built, and have shipped a set of systems designed to let them re-sterilize masks, N95 masks and visors and stuff. They can do something like 80,000 a day.
Awesome. What is it? Is it a saturation vacuum process?
It is a new process. They're trying to get the FDA to approve it. They're trying to get it rushed through. Essentially, what they do is they're using hydrogen peroxide vapor.
Yep, that'll do it. The masks they're just set. Is it like a tumble process?
They've basically built shipping containers with the entire process built into it. So you go in, and it's got clean room chambers. So you go in, you scrub yourself down, and you basically wear bunny suits. You scrub yourself down with isopropyl alcohol. You go into the thing. You place all the masks and things on racks.
But first you have to obtain the isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about them getting that. But you take it, you go in, you scrub yourself down, you do your thing, and then they come along and you put all these masks in, and they even have hooks where you can hang other things on it besides just the masks. And once the thing is loaded up, they basically go back out, they scrub themselves down so that, because they might have been contaminated with things that are contaminated, right?
Yeah.
So they scrub themselves down, and then they close. After that, they close the thing up, and they basically hit a button, and it runs. And when it's done, ding, everything inside of it is clean.
Ding, fries are done. Okay, so maybe I'm missing something because I'm not finding the lower frame.
Crap. Oh, here we go.
Maybe that lower piece is made from the model.
Huh?
Oh, I'm not finding the lower stiffener for the mask or for the face shield. And I realized that I was making them, and I've made 6 of them, like I said. But I think I need to look and see if there's okay, so the one they designed doesn't have a lower piece on it, except I think the Prusa one. Now granted, anything I make at this point is probably
So how far tight did you take these screws on the crossbar for the first time? Like it doesn't have you tighten everything all the way down.
You'd leave them loose because you got to tighten them in the order that Josh recommends, unless you don't feel like doing it that way. He wants you to tighten them down from left to right or right to left. It doesn't matter, but sequentially. You don't tighten them. So basically, as you tighten them down, it allows the bars to.
Meet and
Yeah. You don't want to like tighten them all part way down and then come back through again and repeat the process. You want to have them loose, relatively loose, so that the bar can kind of move, and then tighten them down one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the assembly instructions for it, he doesn't even have you do that.
It does tell you to go from left to right or right to left, I think.
No, it just says loosely install the rail with screws and lock nuts such that each rail fits snug but can slide around inside the holes.
Oh, that's because you're not going to tighten it down until you it's part of the alignment process.
Right, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so you don't want to try tightening them down right now. Ugh.
I don't like the fact that there's no stopper or anything to prevent the carriage from just sliding off this thing while you're assembling it.
Yeah.
So I am going to be smart and throw a layer of painter's tape.
Yeah, I definitely recommend throwing something on there, for sure. But you've got a little bit of time before you worry about tightening stuff down, so you definitely want to have something there for a while.
Yeah.
Because you've got to build, it's like one of the last things you do when you're building the core XY section. Well, not the last thing, but midway through, I think, is when you do it.
Yep. So I've got 3 out of... I've got 3 out of 5 steps from section 1 done. I've got 5 more steps to go. Jeez.
You've got a long
Assembly,
journey ahead of you right now.
Yeah. But I don't feel bad having gotten as far as I have today.
Oh gosh, no. So there's a couple reasons why it took me so long to do this. One, I was doing it only like an hour to 2 hours at a time, and especially in the beginning, I was fighting a lot with OBS Studio and stuff, trying to get the live stream going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the live stream took a fair amount of time to figure out how to get going well. But I told Josh I would do it, and then when it came time to do it, I'm like, well, I said I was going to do it, so I guess I'm going to do it. But on the side note, though, I don't regret it, so. It has been fun. It's been very helpful.
Well, it's been useful, so.
Hopefully it's useful.
Yeah, I hope somebody else finds it useful than just me.
I already have. I literally had a question today and was like, "Oh hey, I'll go look at Eric's video and see what he did." And it only took me like I basically like fast forwarded through one of the things to the part where I was watching. I was like, "Yep, okay, that's how that goes."
Awesome.
It's good stuff. Hopefully I mean, yeah. All right, so no, I don't actually need.
Yeah.
I don't need the lower guide.
My plan is at the moment, eventually to start breaking these things down into some sort of
Clip.
consumable, format. Like,
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a great idea.
yeah, probably gonna take a long, long time to actually get it boiled down, but I'll probably start with just making some time lapses out of the footage I've got.
So this is kind of weird, and I don't know if it's something that's done wrong or it's some configuration setting.
What's
So on the big printer here, and maybe Steve, you can help me with this one. So I know that my Y end stop is off location.
Okay.
So when I zero my XY, I'm about 15 millimeters in the print head, or the nozzle is about 15 millimeters in front of the bed.
Okay.
So minus 15, call it, right?
Yep.
And my X is, my X is like at maybe 2 millimeters into the bed.
Okay.
So I set my minimum position to minus 15 in the configuration file in Clipper.
Yeah.
So now I've just zeroed the XY, and I go to the terminal and I do a get position. And from my get position, I get I have a kinematics value 295.3, 247.4, Z10. Right now, those XY conditions are my probe offsets.
Right.
Okay. And the tool head is listed at 295, 247, which, the 295.3, 247.4, Z10, because with the tools, it should be at 250, 250, right? The probe is sitting at 250, 250, and the Z is sitting at 10, right?
Yeah.
So, and the tool head, blah, 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 is at 10. So if I do a G1, Z0, of whatever speed, right? And the X and Y change and the Z at 0.23250.
We did here for the last 30 seconds.
And
You're breaking.
Because
Sounds like you both became robots.
Cool. You're no longer a robot.
I'm not a longer a robot. All right. So did you catch the part where I was at, at a Z of 10 and then I issued a Z0? Okay. So I issued a Z0, a G1 Z0, right? And now my Z is listed at minus 0.232. That's the kinematic.
That's weird.
Shouldn't that be 0? And the tool head is at a different value. So yeah, I don't know. Now granted, the G-code value is 0.
Huh.
So my G-code value and my kinematics don't match. So I don't know what is wrong. I gotta, and maybe it's something obvious and I'm not getting it.
I knew I should have made the spacer block taller.
Spacers! Sorry. Did you make the spacer block? The 15mm spacer block that I had in the,
I don't know where I got the spacer block, but yes, it's 15mm, and I'm like, I think this should be bigger, but I didn't. Now I kind of wish I would have made it bigger.
it doesn't fit?
I'm at the absolute maximum of the adjustment on the pins. I need
Are
it
you
to
on the
be.
first gen or second gen tool block or tool post?
I should be the new ones that he made.
Okay, so the spacer block I made was for the first gen. You might have to shim it.
Well, I'll just make a new one eventually. I don't have anything to shim it with at the moment.
Is
I guess
is it too short or too tall?
too short. Oh wait, I do have something I can shim it with.
You have spacers?
I have some circuit board that I cut off of Luke's gum boards that'll fit in there almost perfectly. It's going to be a little narrow, but should do the trick.
As long as it fits in there, right?
I think
Yeah.
every one of these printers is going to have like one or two parts where we're all like, we just fudged that.
Well, it's, if you've got a little shrinkage on a part or something's got an elephant foot on it, or because some of the dimensional parts are printed. Okay, so I'm looking at it here, and my G-code is at 10.64. Why the hell is the G-code at 10.64? And the kinematic is at 10.0. So the stepper is at 10.0. The stepper Z is at 10.0. The kinematic is at 10.0. The tool head is at 10.0. And the G-code is at 10.64. Is there a G-code or a G-code that resets the G-code to 0? Like an M200 thing?
You can get that when you do relative versus. Are you doing any relative versus absolute positioning?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see, G91, G28, G90. So G91 is absolute, isn't it?
Let me check.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so it starts. So G90 means all moves starting now are in absolute coordinates.
Okay.
So any position after that is relative to the 0, 0, 0 point of the current workspace coordinate system.
Got it. So, yeah, but my question is where's my offset such Set all axes to relative. What's M82? That's the extruder. G92, set position. There we go.
So you'll get a chuckle out of this. So my fiance's dad was on the narwhal,
Okay.
and so we have all kinds of little narwhal things around the house, including
Okay.
the dog now has a narwhal plushie.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
it's his favoriteest thing ever, and he looks ridiculously cute carrying around a narwhal.
It's difficult to resist singing the song.
Okay, so G91 is relative position mode.
I am going to have to use a tiny socket to tighten these bolts up at all. So I will mess with that when I need to mess with that.
I like how the zip ties were held together with a zip tie.
Yeah.
Oh, and Eric, I thought of you today several times while assembling my printer, while I was holding a block of PETG in one hand and a drill in the other.
Okay, well, there's a G91.
It became necessary to clear out holes quite frequently. Josh has a thing about not giving you a lot of extra clearance on things. Seems to be his favorite pastime. Let's see how tight we can make some of these tolerances. I have yet to see 3D printed holes that are actually the diameter IDs that they're supposed to be.
Well, the stuff that I would love to see done is, I don't know how much you guys have messed with like pre and post processing in Fusion, but like when you set lasers up and stuff, you can define like post processing steps. So you can define that yes, this hole is exactly 3 millimeters, but then you can basically go through and write code that says, hey, every time there's a hole, make it 0.3 wider than what the machine than what the actual hardware spec is, and it'll generate the G-code for that for you.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to go in and do what people are doing, which is to use Cura to widen the holes. Because when you do it in Cura, you can only do it like for every interior space in the part. Whereas in Fusion, you can technically write code to do it. So you can be like, hey, if the hole's, this many, between this many millimeters and this many millimeters, give it this much room. If it's above this, give it this much room.
Yeah.
So that you can keep things in fairly tight tolerances. It's one of the reasons why I'm excited about their slicer.
Yeah, it's brand new, so we'll see what they do with it.
It's got a ways to go, but it is magic sauce that we need to get to the combination of additive and subtractive printing.
Yeah, that's true.
Because what you need is the ability to define different machining processes all in the name of making a part.
I think I'm going to need a lot more ribbon cable. There's a long ways for it to go to get from the electronics to the hot end.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, this isn't the ribbon cable I'm looking for.
Okay, however, the droid.
No.
Okay, well, this probably doesn't actually make a difference.
Or does it?
You did.
When this is all put together, this is going to be so freaking sexy.
What's your color scheme?
So far, it's all orange. Pumpkin orange. Like bright, neon, holiday, Halloween, pumpkin orange.
Cool.
Esun PETG.
I've never in my life thought pumpkins were sexy, but hey.
You know, it's kind of like a cherry. It's like a cherry pop, warm cherry pop.
I'm more looking at the machine part, the shiny crossbar, the machine part.
I really,
use, and I would be like, this is beautiful.
I really am enjoying the color of the red filament that I have here.
Is that the Prusament, Carmen?
I have the
Yes.
Prusament Carmen. It is beautiful.
Yes, it is definitely beautiful. Oh, for the love of God, where the heck? I have
I told my
two.
kids that if they want to get me something special, find me fancy filament.
You know, it's really not that expensive. I mean, it's a little bit more pricey than buying the cheapest PETG you can buy, but it's not.
I've had mixed experiences with Prusament PETG. The Carmen Red was great. Prints great. Really good quality prints. No temperature problems. It's perfect. The Prusa Orange PETG, biggest pain in my butt. Can't print it fast, really high temperatures. Like, I print it in 255 to 260 range. And if
Well, that's not too crazy for PETG.
I print the Esun Orange at like 100.
Huh?
I printed it like 245 temp and 100 millimeters a second print speed.
Oh, I thought we were talking about temperatures, and you're like,
no.
I printed at 100, and I'm like, that's interesting.
No, the Prusament, I have to practically roast it between 255 and 260.
Well, 240 is where it starts to be recommended, isn't it, on most PETGs?
Yeah, and for some reason, their orange has a 250 plus or minus 10 degrees. So, and I've found that it really, really needs to be printed 250 or above on my printer. And even then, I have to print it slow. I have to print it at 65 millimeters a second max. And I'm running an E3D V6 with a 40-watt cartridge in it.
I want to just get this thing going, so I'm going to do something bad. I'm not actually going to address any of this tonight. but I want to see if I can get it hooked up.
That works.
Too excited to wait to do it patiently. I'll do a nice cable tomorrow. So I don't know, maybe this was stupid overkill, but I don't even know how I'm going to hook it up yet, but I bought one of these, come on, get out of there. I keep seeing people talking about the lighting around the cameras. So I bought one of these to, where's the camera? Here's the camera.
Those are nice. Is that dot star or is that NeoPixel?
I don't know. I just bought something and I'll figure out how to make it work.
Good question. Look on the back. What pins do you see? You see a data in, data out, ground, and plus 5 volts?
Yeah, pretty much.
WS2812?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, that's a NeoPixel.
Oh, good.
That only uses one wire, but its timing is specific. So, do you have an Arduino, like a Nano or something like that, a tiny little one?
Well, they have a dot star output on the.
Okay, well that's not a dot star.
Oh, I thought you just said it. Okay.
No, that's a NeoPixel.
Ah.
Dot stars use two. That dot stars use 2 wires, and they're less. They're less finicky. The NeoPixels require very precise timing. So you could get a tiny little NeoPixel or a tiny little driver for it. AT tiny, would be plenty to run it, or you pick up but yeah, you can drive those pretty easily.
Yeah, I figured I've got a ton of crap in my closet. I'm sure I've got something that I can use to drive it.
An Arduino Uno would do it, but it's kind of overkill.
I have all sorts of Arduinos in my closet, so.
Okay.
Don't we all?
Probably.
Probably have 30 of them within arm's reach.
I don't have that many, but I've got plenty.
Well, I mean, they may not all be Arduinos. A lot of them are ESP32s or ESP82 26s.
Alright, so how does this plug in? This plugs in this way. Oh wow, it's already almost 12:30. Dang.
Yep, you did spend a lot of time on the
Stupid cameras.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump off here in a minute. My goal is to get up early tomorrow and do some of the work that I need to do out in the garage so that I can actually start assembling the frame.
That's a goal. It is a worthy goal. Yeah, I need to adjust down the Y limits on this thing. Probably need to bump the current on the steppers too, or at least the Y stepper, because that bed is so big. It's massive.
Wow, I made this ribbon cable really long.
Yeah.
It'll be, I hope this works. I have small fear that this is going to just be complete crap and that I'm going to have to redo a ton of work.
So I have a weird question. Have you guys seen the motor plate diagrams for the corner plates, the aluminum ones?
No, I haven't really looked at the aluminum ones.
Not in a
Well,
while. No.
I'll have to ask Josh because one set is using the button head screws and they're recessed down into the plate. The other one shows them above the plate.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Well, the aluminum ones haven't even been, I don't know that they've
No,
even finalized the design yet, have they?
I think he has. They're in the assembly instructions.
Hmm.
Oh, well, that would explain it. It's a 1.5 amp. So, anybody have any? So NEMA 17, 60 millimeter for the CR10. I'm trying to find a specification for it.
Okay.
I've never looked at anything CR10, so sorry.
And I'm trying to find the specs for it. It's wow. Time Machine lists it, but they don't. They just say here it is. They don't. And yeah, I'm looking for the actual specifications.
All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
See you guys tomorrow.
Later.
Have a good night.
Well, there we go. Found it. Rated at 1.5 amps. And 60 to 90% of rated capacity.
Need to look into printing some of Luke's brackets.
Which ones? The little clips?
Yeah, he made some clips for this exact scenario. I'm just loosely putting this up here.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things what I've been running into is I was dropping steps on the Y. And the stepper, yeah. the run current's only half of its rated current.
Do you work a lot of overtime for your job?
I am salaried. So I'm typically a 50 to 60 hour week. And I'm on call during that week as well. So if anything happens overnight, I'm up.
Well, I hope they give you a good salary.
Better than anything I've had before this. Let's put it this.
That's good.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'd need to be given quite a significant salary in order to want to be tempted into a salaried position.
And then there's the golden handcuffs, which you get so every so often.
Golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
Oh. Did I buy more of these? Boy, I'm getting pretty low on twist nuts, or the drop-in inserts for the for 5mm.
Oh wow.
I think I might need to look into ordering some more. Yeah, I reorganized everything so I wouldn't lose my tools, and I have lost my tool.
Ouch.
There you are. Oh. find it really weird that it feels like the front of this machine doubles as the back of the machine. And the back of the machine doubles as the front of the machine.
Just depends on what you think is the front and which you think is the back.
Well, like to me, the tools should be in the back, but they're in the front. But the 00 is in the back where I think it should be in the front. So it's...
I mean, you could make the 00 anywhere you want. You could make the 00 in the other corner if you wanted to. And then if you're facing it, you just make those maxes instead of minimums. Right?
Well, I understand, but then if I do that, then I'm completely going out on my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Blargle. I was actually having a discussion about this very thing with Josh, and we're talking about maybe doing a community poll on whether or not to make make it standard to go the opposite way.
So make those max end stops.
Yes, basically flipping the direction all around.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just those are max end stops, then that front left corner is 00. I mean, the Ender 5 is a max stop as well.
Boy, I'm doing a nice ugly job of it right now. But I don't care that much. I mean, I do, but I know I'll make it better later. All right.
You ready to start bringing it online?
Maybe. Ooh, this is a nasty looking loop.
It works.
Oh,
It works.
oh, I gotta take a picture of this. This is horrid. I'm not even gonna bother cutting the zip ties right now, because I know I'm just gonna undo it all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. It's not terrible.
No, it's beyond terrible.
Oh, I wouldn't really say that.
Especially when you compare it to everything else I've done on the machine. Okay. Time to see something. Don't know what that something's going to be, but it's time to see it. First off, I don't even know how to pick up a tool. But I guess I should see if I can at least get the fans working first. Heater,
Yeah.
you know, thermistor, or I mean PT 1000. doesn't really help. Oh, here we go. I'll move it up. So, I do see something on the heater, and it is definitely not right, but it's something.
Do you have the right, now remember the, well, your thermistor is,
Yeah, I've got to change it because I don't have it set up for PT1000 yet.
okay.
Which I don't even know how to do, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Where did all the heater stuff go? Here we go. I was thinking the same thing. I wonder where I would even look in the documentation for how to set up a PT1000.
I think that'd be in the duet or in the, I think it should be in the duet documentation.
Yeah, but where? Let's see. Maybe their search works. Connecting thermistors or PT1000 sensor. How about that?
Right,
Maybe it's here. Hmm. Well, no. If Daniel's being fancy with this stuff, or the Duet 3 just requires it to be very different.
He may be fancy.
Like, for example, I'm looking at how a thermistor works, and it just says like M305 P0 R4700 T1000 blah blah blah, and it's got a B parameter. But
Yeah, I can't see what you're looking at, but
it's okay. But instead of R 4700, he has Y thermistor, and I don't know what that's supposed to be.
is there a thermistor file?
I don't know. But like he's replaced one of the commands or one of the pieces of it. So like I was saying on the Duet documentation, I see R4700, but he has something completely different. There's no R value at all in the temperature sensor.
Huh.
And he has this Y value, which I don't even see in the Duet documentation, so I don't know where the heck it's coming from. And I gotta change this thing to work with, I don't know if it's some sort of label.
P1000 or something?
Hmm. Yeah, see, I just found something in the forums where they have a completely different command for the PT1000.
Yeah.
Like, it seems the Duet 3 has some sort of different standard, but I don't know where these people are getting their information from.
Maybe it's coming out of the reference firmware stuff? Rather than the Duet?
Maybe. Like the know where Daniel got this information from. Alright, I'll just toss in this line of code from somebody else's stuff and see what happens.
Okay.
It looks very similar to the way Denal structured his heaters, so. Alright, that seems to work. It's now down to 22.3, so that's something. Let's try making it go to 40 degrees. See what happens. Oh, the temperature's increasing, so I did something right.
That's a good sign.
Alright. When is the... I thought it was supposed to be 40 degrees was the threshold to turn on the print cooling fan. Or I mean the extruder fan.
Usually it's around 50.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that in the firmware config somewhere? So I'm definitely getting overshoot on this. I'll have to run that tuning at some point. Aha, here we go. Yeah, it looks like he has it set to turn on at 45. Ah, forgot. I unplugged one of these last night because I realized I had swapped the red and the black, and I needed to fix it. And I bet you that's the fan that I'm looking for.
I could do it.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, my big box had it set up at 40, so for whatever reason that was what people were doing back then.
Okay.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Well then, I'm gonna try printing something.
Cool. I think my printing escapades will wait for tomorrow.
This is a bunch of just squares, one layer thick. Beds at temperature, tools heading up.
Dang.
What's up?
Still no fan turning on.
What temperature are you at?
52.
Can you issue a fan, turn the heat off, but issue a fan control command? Basically turn on the fan. You get an F something.
Probably.
That's what I did, and I figured out that I had gotten my fan connect pins backwards.
How do you issue a fan command? Do you know that off the top of your head?
There's a GCode command.
Okay, I'll just search for it.
Set fan speed. It's an M10. I think it's an M106. And then there's a P number with an index number, but to tell you which fan it is.
All right.
All right. Starting. Let me go take a look at it. See what it is.
P1S. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Fan. Dashboard. Okay, none of the fans are working. I wonder if I shouldn't have swapped those wires around. Oh shoot. I don't think I ever flipped or switched the jumpers on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid Eric. I remember saying I needed to do it, and I never actually did it. Come on, get down there, you little bugger. Huh. I have hooked something up backwards, I think. The hot end fan is supposed to go to connector 1. Yeah, I don't feel any air coming out of this thing. Could I be running the fan backwards? What?
Part cooling or hot end?
Part cooling. I guess I do feel a little bit of air. This is...
We might have to switch them out for something bigger. So.
Yeah, I guess I do feel air. It is a very, very gentle breeze. Yeah, so the problem was I didn't have 24 volts wired up. I had 12 volts wired up.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that's what the jumper did. As by default, the jumper set to 12 volts.
Got it.
All right, let's try getting both fans going here. So let's heat up the hot end to a blistering 50. There it goes.
Is it working?
Yep. Awesome.
I'm not happy with this layer, but it's putting I'm laying down filament. Question I have to ask myself though is, do I have the tension right on the extruder? Because it doesn't seem very even. And I'm baby stepping a little bit.
Okay, I think I'm pretty happy. I mean, cable needs a lot of love as far as dressing goes, and
Yeah.
left myself some extra cable so I can cut it off later and make it nice and pretty.
Okay.
Got the build tack on. I've got the fans working. It heats up.
Nice.
PT1000 is doing PT1000 things. And it's really late. Holy shoot.
It is 120. Yeah.
I thought it was about 1. Oops.